Okay, this is Matthew Mickey, and I'm here to War Game October 29th, Wednesday, right? So, right now we see that the markets were somewhat contradicting overnight. Long true for Asia, right? Meaning it went up, and then long false for London, it went down, right? All right, so with that being said, we're going to go into our Wargaming, right? We're going to come over here, and we're going to put the daily profile on, right? So, reset this, long true none, long false broken, and then we went short out of New York 1, meaning, right, we've already broken through the short, the 730 to 830 to the downside, right? So if we look, we can see that there's a 73% probability of us hitting false, meaning that there's more likelihood of us touching this high right here in the next 3 hours by 73 than for us to continue down. Right? That does not mean that we're doing this action right now. It can happen any time between now and 10:15. Right? So if we select short false, that shows us that we can expect the low of the day between 9:45, 9:30, and 10 o'clock. Right? We've got data to support a low of the day at that time, and then a high of the day at end of day. Right? So we're going to come over here and put this data in our trading view. Right? So for short false, low of the day, when we use the mode to median, right? 0.2 to zero point 0.4, right? So 0.2 to zero point 0.4, we put 9:30 to 10:30, and then for the high of the day, we can expect 0.8 to 1.1 end of day. And this is just for one of two possible outcomes. And we're going to go over the other possible outcome here in a minute. All right. So we can see that, right, this is the highest probable low day, high day for this scenario, right? You can see our 10-day median range was 379. Right? And we have enough to cover low to high of that, right? If we want to make that 100% 10-day median range, right? So now moving on, we're going to put the highest probable structure that we can expect for this on here, right? So we know that between 7:30 and 11:30, this is the kind of price structure we should see for this scenario, right? Now all we got to do is do levels, right? And the only levels I'm going to talk about today is the Asia OU, right? For short false, the Asia OU, which is the midline of Asia, which is right here stacked on Globex Open and Settlement, right, has an 84% probability or 87% probability. And you can see the secondary mode, if it didn't hit it overnight during London, it comes in, but by this is giving us great information because if we haven't hit it by 10, then we know we're more than likely not going to hit it, right? So we're going to keep that in mind. Now we're going to go over and talk through the other possible scenario, right? Not being able to come and take out this high and make it a short false, right? So now we're going to put the short false off and we're going to put the short true on. And we're going to start with high day, low day, right? We can see we can expect a low of the day between 14:15 and end of day. We can expect a high of the day. We got bulk of data right here, right? But anywhere between 3:30 and 4:45 or 8:15 and like 7 o'clock, right? Our current high of the day is 420 at 5 basis points off of Globex Open. So now we can see that the mode to median for high of the day is right here. So our current high of the day has data to support it, right? So we're going to come over here and put zero point 0.4 to zero point 0.5, and we'll put 0.4, actually we'll go 0.305, right? And that will represent the bulk of data to remind us that this current high of the day, if we can't get above 930, if we can't reverse or anything like that, make a new low of the day, can't reverse that, we're more likely to be short true, especially after 10 o'clock. If 10 o'clock takes out the 9 o'clock low, forget the false, even if the false has, right? A 73% probability, this is the live market telling you it wants to go with the 26% of the time, all right? So going back to that true scenario, let's figure out the low of the day. We can see we can expect between 0.6 and 0.8 to the downside off of Globex open for this. All right, so come over here. We're going to put 0.6 to 0.8. And then we can see that a low of the day primarily is from 1415 to 1600. So we're going to put that on there. So if we see live price spiking up at 1415 and taking out 15-minute and hourly highs, we know that more than likely that the low of the day is in. We can see that for this, we don't have enough daily distro for it, so it might even go lower than previous day low, right? Or we just don't spend the whole distro for the day, right? All right, so we can see with this one, that Asia OU has an 88% probability of getting hit, and the mode to median is between 9:30 and 10:15. So we're going to keep that in mind. We can see in this variable between 9:30 and 11 that the highest probable price structure is like this, right? So if we see us drop hard between 9:30 and 10, and then 10:15 just grinds down, and then we start getting a range at 10 to 10:15, 11, we know more than likely we're in short true, and that the signatures that we'll look for is we can't get above 9 o'clock's 50, we can't get it back above 9:30, 10 o'clock takes out 9 o'clock's low and puts it instant high and then drops, right? So that'll be the criteria that we look for that one, right? We know that we have 100 or 0.66 distro over the last quarter for on a Wednesday that we can spend. So from 7:30 to 11:30, we 50% of the time we put 0.67 distro on. That would take us to the previous day mid, new low of the day, and that supports whether we go false or whether we go true. So hopefully this helps. Have a great day. Later.